That's September 23rd video. Let's go ahead and begin the starter. And you should have a page, new page in your digital notebook. Okay, so in your digital notebook, number one, again, I've shortened these to 2 sentences. I feel like we can, get a nice solid writing for the 2 sentences. You have 2 minutes to do that right now. Number one, why did the Spanish come to Latin America? Go ahead and begin. 2 minutes. I'm gonna set my timer. And if you also have time, go ahead and get into DBQ project as well. Open that up in a new window. And if you haven't noticed, this is review from the background essay. So you should have read the background essay, finished annotating that background essay. So this is review from that. All right. Next up, summary page, right? Today, again, we'll continue to think like a historian. That's our objective. Standard, use primary and secondary sources to interpret various historical perspectives. All the other content is the same. Systems determine power and equity, which I think we see in that pyramid from our hook exercise. The Spanish determined the social class system that put the peninsulars at the top. So that system determines who has power, and then that system also determines, is there going to be equity? And so I think we're realizing that. So our synchronous time, we did the starter. We're doing a discussion post next. We're going to do pre-bucketing, which will be very simple. And then we're going to really dive into one primary source document related to Latin American independence that will help us better understand why the Creoles led the fight for Latin American independence. The asynchronous time, you need to finish document A and document A analysis. Okay, and we'll try and do as much of that together as we can today. Okay, go ahead, y'all, begin the discussion. Here's the post. Was it okay for Spain to explore Latin America and then have colonists or peninsulars live in Latin America? Why or why not? Go ahead and do that post now. And then you need to reply to a peer's post. Okay, whether you agree or disagree, say what you agree with or disagree with, and then build on it with another kind of comment about that situation, about what they said. Again, do not just say, I agree, period. Don't do that. Okay? I need you to say, I agree with, and what do you agree with? And then build on what they wrote. So go ahead and do your post now. 2 minutes. Let's go. Let's get this going. I need everybody to do it. 100% participation, 100% involvement. All right, y'all. So hopefully you're done with that post, and then you've also responded to somebody else. What I would do though also is if you have like a sticky note or a piece of paper or a to-do list, maybe on your phone, if you didn't get to that and you didn't finish it because I'm moving too fast, then you need to make a list that you need to go back and complete that before 10 p.m. Honestly, you should do that during your asynchronous time as well. So here we go. Pre-bucketing. Everybody go to DBQ project, please. DBQ project. It is, again, it is in Clever. I'm not going to really go through how to get there because we've done it the last few days. If you need help, I'll help you. Okay? Now, here's where I need you to go this time. This time, instead of going to the background essay or the hook, I want you to go to the page that says clarifying the question and pre-bucketing. Clarifying the question and pre-bucketing. And I want you all to follow along with me. All right, we go to Clever again, right? Log in with NC EdCloud. Find the red box. I put it in my favorites. It's also down here. It's the same thing. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe understand the page and pre-bucketing. Yeah, but yep, the pre-bucketing. Yeah, go ahead. What don't you see in the chat? I got a question that you don't see it. What do you not see right now? So here's where if you go, we got cover, hook, background essay questions, understanding the question. Yeah, that's it. Understanding the question and pre-bucketing. Everybody should be on this page. Everybody should be on this page. And I'm going to split my screen so you can see both of these simultaneously. Okay, so if you are in, so again, right up here, right? If you click on this drop down, the triangle, you see cover, hook exercise, background essay questions, and then, yep, and then understanding the question and pre-bucketing. Okay, good. Now change that in Canvas as well. So first thing I want you to do, okay, and just follow these steps here, right? Cross out the questions at the top of the page. Cross out the questions. I don't want you doing the questions. Okay. All right. Boom. Done. You did them. Good job. All right. That's the first thing I want you to do. Next thing I want you to do is label the 3 buckets. Okay. What we see here: pride, money, and fear. Because what we're doing is we're going to identify those 3 reasons for why the Creoles led the fight for Latin American independence. One of them was pride. Another one was for money. And one was because they were scared. There was fear. Okay. So I want you to label those buckets. I would do the text box. Okay. And just bear with me. I'm going to explain more about those buckets later, but it's kind of like buckets where we put in supporting details for why the Creoles led the fight. So if there's a detail related to the Creoles leading the fight for economic reasons or for money, we can kind of put that hypothetical detail inside the bucket. But we'll get to that. So bucket 1, pride. Okay. I'm just going to copy it. Money. And then fear. All right. Everybody do that, please. Each page should look exactly like mine. That is all you need to do for this page. That's all you need to do for this page. When you're done with that, please say I'm done in the chat, please. Please say I'm done in the chat. Good, good, good. Again, I don't want to leave anybody behind, but I also don't want to go too slow. Let's go, y'all. Let me know when you're done. I need to move on. Good, good. And again, these buckets represent the reasons why the Creoles led this fight for Latin American independence. It's why the Creoles of all the other groups told Spain to get out of there, okay? And they wanted to run things on their own, okay? So, next, go to document A, please. Document A. This is what everybody should be looking at. Everybody should be looking at document A. Now, this is an example of a source that we're going to read that will help us answer this question, why the Creoles led the fight for Latin American independence. Okay, so here's what I want y'all to do. I want you to take, and we're going to follow the close reading instructions. So from the beginning, I want you to start with source at the top. Just read that, then read the note, and then read the paragraph. So go ahead and read those three things from top to bottom right now. And you don't need to do any of the questions right now. So first thing I want you to do, I'm only going to give you 2 minutes because it's not very long. Go, read that now. You have 2 minutes. And again, you make sure you go to document A. Okay, we're in document A. And, okay, so if you go here, cover, hook, background essay, questions, pre-bucketing, document A. Okay, that's where we are. And you're just reading the source, the note, and the paragraph, please. Again, y'all put questions in the chat. I don't want y'all to be lost. All right, y'all, in the chat, what is the next step? What do we do after reading through it one time? What do we do? Put in the chat. Let's go. Who's going to be first? What do we do? We read through it one time. Nope, not highlight yet. We don't highlight. There you go. Yep, number the paragraphs, y'all. So everybody, number the paragraphs right now. And again, if I'm numbering this, I'm going to just focus on what's inside the box. So real simple. There's one. Not too complicated at all. One paragraph. All right, everybody number the paragraph. Now, what do we do after we number the paragraphs? What do we do? And again, you know, put over here, right? Yeah, good. Yeah, we reread while we annotate, highlight. Good, very good. So I want you, even though we only have one paragraph here, I want us to start with the note. Everybody start with the note. We're gonna do this document together. Okay, stay with me. So, and I'm gonna make this larger. So it'd be easier for everybody to see. Maybe I'll make it, okay. Hopefully that's a little better. Now, I'm looking at this right away. Simon Bolivar, okay? That's who we're talking about here. This is a title, this is an address of Bolivar at the Congress of Angostura. Congress of Angostura is kind of like a group of people that he's talking to. And the date, February 15th, 1819. Now we can move on to the note. Once again, Simon Bolivar was one of the most influential revolutionary leaders. He was a Creole group of people born in 1783 in what is now Caracas, Venezuela. Location. Congress of Angostura, like a group of people, like leaders, took place during the wars of independence of Colombia and Venezuela. This short excerpt was taken from Bolivar's opening speech. Bolivar's speech. So he's a Creole and he's speaking to a group of leaders during this fight, this war for independence, kind of around Colombia and Venezuela, okay, in the northern part of South America. Now you read the text. Read the text and do the same exact thing. And I'm going to do this and you can follow along, please, okay? We are not Europeans. We're not Europeans. We are not Indians or natives. So he's saying we as Creoles, we're not Europeans, we're not natives, okay? We are but a mixed species of aborigines, which means native born, and Spaniards. Americans by birth and Europeans by law. By the law, we're Europeans, but we're Americans based on where we were born in Latin America. We find ourselves engaged in a dual conflict. Dual conflict. We are disputing with the natives for titles of ownership, and at the same time, we are struggling to maintain ourselves in the country that gave us birth against the opposition of the invaders. Thus, our position is most extraordinary and complicated. Okay. What do we do next? I'll finish that and then answer that question about what we do next. So, right, some of Bolivar is just saying, hey, we're not good. Yep, do the hashtag. We're not considered, right now, we're not considered natives and we're not considered Europeans. We're this group of people stuck in the middle. And we need a clear identity here. And so that's why he's like, we need to revolt. We need to have a revolution for this reason, because we're in this tussle or fight with natives for ownership, but we also don't have any power because of these invaders. Okay, let's hashtag it. I'm just going to copy the #1 bullet point here. I like to put my hashtags on one side if I can, and my paragraphs on the other, but it ultimately does not matter where you put it. Creole, I like Creole identity, you know, maybe Creole pride. I'm going to do pride. Okay, again, hide the questions at the bottom. You do not have to do these questions at the bottom. But when I go to your page to review it and to see what you've done, that's what I should see. I should see your page almost look identical to what I've done there on my page. Okay. Questions, put them in the chat real quickly, please. All right. Let's go, y'all. Y'all got any questions? Okay, now here's what I want you to do. Follow along here. Go to analysis sheet, please. Analysis sheet. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up in a new window. Okay, so I click the analysis sheet. I see this pop down, highly scaffolded form. You may like right click it or something else, but for me, you know, I'm going to open it up in a new window. Okay, and I want you to follow along with me. This is an analysis sheet that I'm saying don't worry about the questions because I want you to focus on this instead. Okay. Now, all right. So if you look at the top, let's do this together. Y'all can just put this information in as we go. Document number or a letter, right? This is document A. We're gonna fill in these boxes. And now, what is the title of this document? Anybody? What's the title? I feel like the title of this one's real similar to even the source. If I were you, I'd put an address of Bolivar at the Congress of Angostura. Right here. I don't know if you can copy and paste it. I don't know. I don't know if I want you to, but let's see if it lets you. Yeah, I think it did. That's not a bad option. Save a little bit of time. Where did this document come from? I'm going to do the same thing. I'll copy and paste that. An address of Bolivar at the Congress of Angostura. It's like him speaking to Congress, or like the Senate or the House of Representatives, the lawmakers and the leaders. All right, this is a good question. What type of a document is this? What type of a source is this? Put in the chat. Yeah, definitely historical, but what is this? This is a what? What's he doing? No, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say secondary either, and we'll get to that. Is it a letter? Is it a diary? No, it's neither of those. What is this specific thing that he's doing? He's making a what? He's making a what? There you go, speech. Okay, making a speech. And what's the date of the document? If you look, you'll see it right next to it, February 15th, 1819. That gives us some context of when this is happening. Okay? All right, he's making a speech, and it's February 15th, 1819. Who's making the speech? What's the person's name? Put in the chat. Put in the chat. Yep, Simon Bolivar. A revolutionary leader, a Creole, which means his ancestors are peninsulars, but he was born in Latin America. So for him, he considers himself a native, an aborigine, somebody born in Latin America, a Latin American. Okay? Is this a primary or secondary source? Primary or secondary source? Yep, spot on. Primary. This is like the speech from that time, February 15th, 1819. This is from that time. Okay. Now, possible author bias. Is he biased? Think back to our writer cafeteria fight. Is he biased or not? I'm getting a lot of no's. Like, for me, he's like being a person in the fight. So for me, he is biased. He's like whatever their names are, right, in the cafeteria fight, because he's a Creole and he's tired of the peninsulars controlling everything. He wants to get rid of them. So he's, I'm gonna say biased because he is in the fight. He is a Creole and he's tired of being stuck in between the peninsulars and the natives. Okay, you can put something similar to that. Yeah, like he's mad. He's saying we gotta fight. He's biased. He's very biased. Okay. Yeah. What's the question? Yeah, if you look at the pyramid, right? If you look at the pyramid for the Creoles and the whole social class system, the Peninsulars are at the top. The Creoles aren't at the bottom. They're second. They're not doing bad, remember? If we read that background essay and we look at that essay and who the Creoles are actually in the Hook activity, the Creoles have money, they have land, but they do not have power. Okay? So they're kind of close to the top. Okay. So write down, next one, facts, observations. What important information can I learn from this document? Okay? And so here's what I want you to do. Write down one direct quote. You copy and paste it if you want, because I think you can go over there and copy and paste it. What do you think is like the most important quote from this document? If I'm looking at it, we're not Europeans, we're not Indians. That's one. I kind of like that first one. I also like we're disputing with the natives for titles of ownership. At the same time, we're struggling to maintain ourselves in the country that gave us birth against the opposition of the invaders. That is also a good quote. I'd say the first or the second one. That's an extremely like long run-on sentence. I'm gonna do that one. Okay, then I'm gonna put in the parentheses document A to kind of cite where I got that information. Yeah, those are all real good. Those are good. I mean, you can pick, right? You can pick. And I like the engagement in the chat. I wish more people would be engaged in the chat. Okay, but keep it up, those that are in the chat. Okay. Next box down. Meaning of this in your own words. Okay, put it in your own words now. Creoles are stuck in the middle between the Peninsulars and the natives. For me, that's what I put. You can put the same thing if you want, okay, because we're doing this together right now. Yeah, I like what somebody said for that. A good quote. Our position is most extraordinary and complicated. That's a good quote too. All right. Next up, moving down to inferences. This is a conclusion that you make based on this information. Okay. So from the fact or observation above, what inference can you make? Your response should be at least one full sentence. I'm going to infer that the Creoles want a clear status. They want clear status in Latin America. They don't want to be stuck anymore. They don't want to be this group of people in the middle. They want a clear status in Latin America. And it may be even the top. Maybe they wanted to be just top of the pyramid, the ones in charge, the ones in control. We'll put that. Even if it means being at the top. All right. Now, from the fact or observation above, okay? From the fact or observation above, how does this information help you answer the DBQ question? And again, our question is Latin American independence. I'm gonna put in the chat. Why did the Creoles lead the fight? How does this help us answer that question? If I'm looking at that, this kind of gives some inspiration for why they were doing this. Okay, the document provides inspiration for why the Creoles were upset and wanted a revolution or independence. Okay, I know I'm moving quick. Because if we're talking about why did the Creoles of all the other groups of people, the natives, the slaves, mestizos, mulatto, why were the Creoles the ones that started this revolution? That's what we got to try and answer. For me, the natives should have done it. They came and they took their land and they have more people than everybody else. I mean, they should lead the revolution, but the Creoles did. So why are the Creoles doing it of all these other groups of people? And so this provides a little bit of that insight as to why they're upset. Even though they're second in power and they are wealthy and they're landowners, this tells me why they're upset. They're like stuck. They're like, we're natives, but we're not considered natives. And you're considering us Spanish by law and you're controlling us like we're Spanish, but we're natives. Okay. All right. Last thing. I'm gonna let y'all go. In which bucket would you put document A in? Which bucket? If you think back on our buckets before, is this pride, money, or fear? There you go, spot on, pride. It's all about pride. Good, put that in there. Okay. At that point, you should be done. I don't see a submit button or anything, but it should stay loaded. All right, so again, let's review here, right? We did a discussion post, we did the starter, the discussion post, the pre-bucketing, we did the buckets, pride, money, fear. We read document and analyzed in document A, annotated it, highlighted it, numbered the paragraphs, did the hashtag, and we completed the DBQ document analysis. So you did that. No asynchronous time, anything for today, except for going back and finishing any missing assignments and sending me the email when you're done. Now, tomorrow, let me talk to you about tomorrow. You have asynchronous time for your classes tomorrow. Okay? And the asynchronous work tomorrow is for you to annotate, to close read document C. I mean, you could even do it now if you wanted to. If you go to C, your asynchronous time tomorrow is to close read this document. Okay, that is it. And then your asynchronous time Friday is to do the document C analysis sheet, this right here. Okay, any questions about your asynchronous time Thursday and Friday, because we're not having class. I'm gonna have everything posted in Canvas. I'm gonna have a video for you, just like it's a normal class day, except for it's gonna be much shorter without a starter and without a discussion post.